Thanks for joining us for the Long Island Sound podcast. Each week we explore new music and dive deeper with the artists and their stories behind the music. Please subscribe and rate and review us wherever you stream this podcast. Here's your host, Steve Yusko.
Hi, Steve Yusko here. What a great episode. I had the chance to interview both Sam Woolf from American Idol fame and the Como brothers. Years ago, they started a collaboration together, and it really produces some magical music. The Como brothers were former guests, and so was Sam Woolf separately. Check into the podcasts I did with both of them so you get the background and the story on them. I tell you, the Como brothers are like the Everly brothers, and when you get these three guys together, you think they were all brothers. So come join us in conversation, and you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to hear some new songs as well. Check out this latest video from Sam Woolf and the Como brothers called Coming Home.
1, 2, 3. I know I've been gone, but now baby I'm coming home. I'm sitting down here by the southbound train to hitch a ride home back to you. I see a man, he's got a lonely face. Said, somewhere you headed to? I said, I'm heading past the water on a southbound train, back to see my baby and to call her name. I know I've been gone, now baby I'm coming home. I know I've been gone, now baby I'm coming home. I hear the bees and they're just buzzing by, like they haven't got a clue. Well, they got honey hidden in their hives, yeah. But they got nothing as sweet as you. I can almost hear you calling in the afternoon. But you don't have to worry, cause I'll be there soon. I know I've been gone, but now baby I'm coming home. I know I've been gone, but now baby I'm coming home. I knew better than to do you wrong, 'cause baby you've never done me. Ain't no weather that can hold me back from holding you. I know you knew I would be true. I know I've been going now, baby, I'm coming home. I know I've been going now, baby, I'm coming home. Said I know I've been going now, baby, I'm coming home. I know I've been going now, baby, I'm coming home. Said I know I've been going now, baby, I'm coming home. Oh, I know I've been going now, baby, I'm coming home. Coming home, coming home, coming home, coming home, coming home, coming home.
Hey, I'm so excited to have three guests. I tell you, one of several guests who've been really great on the podcast. I've got Matt and Andrew Como and Sam Woolf. And thanks, guys, for being on the podcast. It's really exciting to have all three of you at once. And if we can manage everybody talking at the same time, it's going to be great.
Well, I'll say, Steve, I'll just speak for the three of us and say it's great to be on with you. And it's like catching up with any time we come on with you or talk or see you or whatever. It's like catching up with an old friend, which is,
No, I appreciate that.
which is cool.
And it's because I'm old, right? Thanks. You couldn't just say
That's not what I
friend.
meant. That's not
You
what I
had,
meant.
you had to throw the old in. So I'll tell a quick story. So in how we all got together was through a place called Fire Island Vines. Went to see another act in Bayshore, and Angelo, Christy said to me, man, if you like Gene Casey, you got to see the Como Brothers. We had a great time, doing the podcast together. Your music is really great, turning you on to a lot of people. I talk about you guys a lot. And then you led me to Sam Woolf, which is great. Sam was on American Idol years ago. There's a whole story about that, and I'm proud of Sam in owning up to his who he is, which is a singer-songwriter, and not becoming part of a boy band. Although it looks like you're part of a boy band now. Never mind. Anyway,
yeah, we made it happen.
You made it happen on your own terms, which is which is kind of cool. So. So obviously, I encourage everybody to listen to all these guys' music. And by the way, this is an exclusive on Spotify. So it's really nice in supporting artists out there. It's not easy. You don't make a lot from streams. But the songs that we're going to introduce today, and the one that you heard coming into the program, Coming Home, the guys are going to benefit from the streams. If you're a paid subscriber to Spotify, you'll hear the whole song. If you're on the free Spotify, then you're going to get a teaser to the song. But I encourage you to go to Spotify and look up the Como Brothers and Sam Woolf, and you guys have done collaborative efforts as well. So what I'm really interested in letting the audience know is, how did you guys connect? I mean, the Como Brothers are from Long Island. Sam, you're originally from Florida. You're up in New York now. I'll give out the address later for everybody who's trying to hunt Sam down. Kidding. I won't do that, Sam, because you didn't even give me your address. So anyway.
Don't give him my apartment number.
Sam, why don't you take it? How did you guys meet?
So I think we met at, was doing a gig at Webster Hall in New York City, opening for an artist named Ryan Beatty. And the Como Brothers were also opening for him. And I think we just played a show and connected afterwards. And we kind of hit it off. And I think we played a couple shows after that.
Well, I was just going to say, we actually even have like a picture of the moment we kind of exchanged numbers. Yeah, it's like right
cool.
next to Andrew.
Let me just
we both had like a really strong interest in songwriting and stuff. So I think like after the gig, we just kind of talked and connected.
Oh, yeah, that works.
That's us.
Nice. Oh, wow. That's great.
So that's
give me a time frame. How long ago was that?
Probably like 2015 or so, right?
That was it was the end of 2014.
Okay.
So about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
So what was the first song that you guys collaborated on?
The first one, but I
think there was only 2 songs that we recorded and wrote together that we didn't release. Mm-hmm. Right, Matt?
I would say, like, first, though, we met at that gig, and then we started to do, like, touring together, so we did a couple gigs around that time when, like Sam said, and then we'd done, like, right after that, there was, like, a few dozen gigs, I would say, like, just, like, right after, in the year following, or year or two following, where we kind of toured around the East Coast, booking gigs, and having a good time playing our songs, just, like, we'd go around to high schools, or colleges or bars or restaurants, whatever it may be, up and down the East Coast together.
So did you guys share a promoter, or was this all pretty much organic in booking your own stuff?
That was basically, I think, just us reaching out to venues and booking our own gigs, So we booked our own tours. We had a great time doing it and had a lot of fun. And ultimately, I think that led to us being like, hey, we're all writing songs. Why don't we give it a go together?
No, that's all right. No, I was saying, me and Matt, we auditioned for some Beatles play. I literally don't even remember what the context was or what it was about. But they, do you remember how we got that, Matt, or no?
No idea.
But anyway, long story short, you were saying he's a terrible actor. They gave us a couple lines, and I'm not a good actor, but I feel like I could have done it. I can't do the Liverpool accent or anything like that, but I feel like I could have at least delivered. It was a simple line, and Matt was like, "Do you think we can play guitar?" And the people's their mouths were open. It was 3 judges. They were like, they thought it was horrendous. I was like, this is bad. I think I started sweating. I was like, this is so bad.
They wanted us to speak like them and everything. I can't do that.
It was bad. It was really bad. I can't even reenact what he did, but
That's kind of cool. You try everything. You throw see what sticks against the wall. You know.
Yeah, it was some kind of Beatles play where you like performed their songs as well. I think someone told us to do it. I don't even remember what it was about.
Almost like a Beatlemania type of thing back in the old days.
Yeah, it had a little bit of acting though too, but.
Oh well. So you never landed that. Another ship gone by. So.
Yeah.
I mean, like on the recording thing though, like Andrew definitely for us like brings it together and gets it to like the state where we want to release it and stuff. And really cool thing about like us three working together is we have that like, I don't know, similar vision for a song where we all sit down. We seem to come up with something that we're all like really aligned to. Like, I don't know, we just all like really vibe to a certain frequency that is like, okay, we got a vision for a song and we're all in line with it. And if an idea is not making it or it kind of sucks, we all kind of like recognize it and it flows along the same river of,
Well, you know what's interesting, and I've
Andrew's like, what the hell is he
what
saying?
does he? No, we don't do that, right? No. But what's interesting because it's just the two of you and Sam separately, and then the three of you together. It's kind of simplifies the dynamic between bandmates, so to speak. I could imagine it gets more complicated with more personalities. But I'm going to throw this to the Como brothers. I've only seen you as a duo play a few times. Right. Have you ever assembled or had the interest in assembling a band, so to speak, to support what you do, or have you approached that? And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of a band, I mean, we've done a band. We don't do it often. We usually just do a duo. But if the gig calls for it, we get some studio guys.
So you have guys that you can pull into the Como brothers band, so to speak.
Yeah, we got a Rolodex. We got a couple. Nah, I don't know.
I actually know what a Rolodex is. I'll have to explain that to the youngers in the audience. How about you, Sam? What's your approach with that? I mean, do you pretty much approach it as a solo artist, or?
Yeah, I mean, I approach it as a solo artist, but like I'm down. I definitely enjoy playing with other people more. Like even when I'm playing with Como brothers, it's more exciting for me. But it's also like when I'm doing gigs and like, I also do like private events and
sure,
corporate things like that. It's easy for me to just do solo. But like when I'm playing like my own show, like where people are buying tickets, I prefer to be with other musicians or a band, so to speak. But it's not often. I'd like to do it more.
So now let me ask you this. You recently moved up to New York from Florida.
Yeah.
How is it, did you know people besides the boys here, in the music scene in New York? How are you finding that? Are you being welcomed? Are you, expanding out with your connections in the industry? How's that going for you?
I don't really know any other musicians I haven't met yet, but I do have a couple friends who I actually grew up with in Florida who found their way down here. But they don't do music, so I guess that doesn't really count.
Yeah,
but,
they don't count. They don't count.
Como brothers, they're not far. They're, about an hour, 2 hour commute.
Yeah, well, what's interesting of the artists that I've spoken to and had on the program, they'll run into the city very often, either play the Iridium or try to do the bitter end and and work that for the door or whatever they can pull in. So that seems to be a way to expose yourself out, as far as that goes. And then the other thing is the connection to the guys who run studios. Like I think we talked about Richie Kanata. I don't know if you guys did any work with him. He's Billy Joel's original sax player. He's supposedly
we haven't done any work with him. We went out to his studio to check it out one time. He gave us like a little tour. But we've worked in studios in the city mainly. You're probably familiar with the Hit Factory as like a studio back in the day. And they recently, Troy Germano, he had owned the studio called Germano Studios, and he rebranded it as the Hit Factory again now. I think he just made the announcement that they came out as the Hit Factory again. So
really?
I mean, we've been there. Yeah, pretty cool.
Damn.
I think they now own the name or whatever again, but
right.
We've been there a bunch, mainly in the city, until Andrew really started to own the process himself. And yeah, it's just cool. I think the three of us really get on where when we sit down to make a song, we always seem to get there. You mentioned like the first time we wrote a song was in 2015, I think, but since then, anytime we really sit down to put our heads together, it seems like we'll always come up with something cool.
Right. The other thing that's interesting, and I use the Como brothers as really kind of the example of how to approach social media, and I think that's pretty exciting with what you do. And
I give most of that credit to Andrew. I would say he mostly manages our socials, but
it's at least I can only give you my opinion as a consumer. It looks like you're keeping it fresh and you're putting something out. So you seem to have a recipe to. I think you said every Sunday you end up putting out a video, and then it's usually followed up with another lyric video of the same song, right?
Yep. Yeah, we try to do the same time every Sunday. Apparently that helps with the algorithm.
Yeah, keeps it consistency. Is that you become, we're both working to the same end. I mean, all of us, is to get to be that shiny penny that people want to look at, and become an influencer. And consistency seems to be it. So let's do this. Let's just take a quick break, and we come back. We'll explore more about your process and how you go about things. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be right back with Sam Woolf, Andrew, and Matt Como.
Do you ever wonder what it's like to hear from the people who entertain us with their own original music? Hi, I'm Steve Yusko, and my new podcast, The Long Island Sound, is where I have conversations with the music makers. And boy, do I have a lot of questions. Search for The Long Island Sound wherever you get your podcasts. Tell your friends, and remember to rate and review the show.
I got to ask you this. Has there been a time with the three of you working on a collaboration, somebody brought something to the table and you just went, nah, this ain't us?
One time, I don't know if it was I think it was.
And you can point people out. If it was Matt,
No. It's nothing that anybody specifically brought in that didn't work. I just felt like we had a song. What was it called? Thinking or something?
yeah.
You got me thinking. I don't know. For me, I thought it was a nice song. It just didn't hit me like one of the other songs we've written. But
we never put it out either.
We never put it out. I don't know. That's the only one that didn't really kind of resonate the same way that the others did.
All right. So who brought the?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Who brought the bowl of shit to the table? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, well, the painting behind Matt did.
I mean, really, no. I mean, you got to fess
Show
up,
the painting,
if you're going to be real.
Yeah, there's a painting of Central Park, actually, that song was about. That we actually just all usually sit down, a lot of time blank slate, and there's nothing to start with, and we are all just riffing on ideas. And that day in particular, we were like, let's write about this painting and what's in the painting, and it didn't end up working out. A lot of times that's how we go about it. We just kind of start on a random tangent, and then we're all kind of contributing to it. Yeah.
Now, is it just the three of you in the room, or are there other people? No, I'm serious. Are there other people in the room that could be influencing it, or is it just, you kind of lock yourselves in and say, we're the team here and we're approaching it?
Yeah, it's just us. I'm trying to think if there's anyone.
All right, so there's no Tatiana. That's where I'm getting at.
No.
Because I don't want. I just have this feeling she could be the Yoko. She could be the Yoko Ono.
She hasn't been in any of the sessions. I mean, we have kind of a really. I think it's such a collaboration that's such close-knit between the three of us that, it's really efficient when it's just the three of us, and there's something special about it where, I don't know, there's never been anyone else around.
So let me ask you this, and this may be an unfair question, is why aren't you guys just all one group all the time? Or is it just like you have distinct stuff that you want to do on your own? And maybe that's not a fair question, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine too, but I'm curious about that. Because it seems like you got good chemistry and it can produce great fruit. Am I throwing something out there you haven't discussed?
No. I was gonna take it. I was gonna say I think we all just we kind of have our own thing separately and stuff like that. And when we come together, it's just a different thing. We just have we have similar tastes, which I think works to our advantage, and we kind of treat it as like another identity. I guess I don't know.
we actually thought about putting the songs that we've written together out as a different group, but I don't think it never really, I don't think,
Yeah, there's once you start developing a brand, it's like, do I want to confuse people? I think once you're out there and very well established, and I got to be honest with you guys, and I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt. It just feels so good to connect with you guys because I feel like I'm meeting guys who really got it together that just are on the verge of really some great exposure out there. I really mean that, and it's that's why I'm happy to have you on, again, to kind of see where we're going with things, or where you're going with things. And it's got to be so cool that Sam's now only like, an hour train ride away from Manhattan,
Oh, it's great. It's
Definitely.
great because we used to have to, Sam remembers, Matt remembers, we had to plan flights and all that kind of stuff. So this is awesome. It's really
Right,
cool.
right. How do you make it? I mean, you're in a pool of a lot of artists. There are a lot of good singers-songwriters in there. I think you guys all have something special, particularly when it comes to the vocals. That always stands out to me. Mr. Perfect Pitch over there, Sam Woolf, is great. Look, he's mad now. No, I'm only kidding.
oh no, man.
You gave me a dirty look. I got it.
No, I was just
You're
figuring out how
settling
to
into New
respond to
York
it
perfectly.
like that.
But the vocals really stand out to me, and that's something that really kind of carries it. Because hey, how many times have you seen live acts and you go, yeah, she's not as good as, or he as good as they are, and you guys you guys nailed that part of it, and you're very good instrumentalists as well. So it's a good place to start. But let me ask you this: maybe helping the other singer-songwriters that you know out there, who may look to you and say, "Wow, these guys seem to have it good." How do you network to do the tours in multi-states? How did you guys get there and continue from that?
I mean, I could take that one. I pretty much just reached at that time. I think that one in particular was me, and I just kind of reached out to venues, and that's really what we're all doing now. Sam and Andrew have since that time. They do that all the time now, whereas I kind of like am hands off with booking gigs. I found they're better negotiators than me with that stuff anyway. So
Right.
At the time, I mean, yeah, I was just reaching out, and it's just kind of self-initiative stuff where you just got to keep grinding away, doing your thing, and if you having fun doing it, then that's good. But also, I think it goes hand in hand with your last question, though, with did we think about becoming one act or whatever? I think like it's part logistics, like part going with the flow of whatever happens and whatever's successful. Like we'll make a song, we'll put it out together. If that song blew up, I mean, we'd travel around playing it and have a great time. Or if one of the songs that we're doing on our own, I mean, we'll always be around together and stuff. So
yeah, I think I think there's a crossroads for artists, and I've seen this in different ways. And when the devil at the crossroads, right? A lot of people, they have the full-time job, they have their art, they're woodshedding their instrument, they're trying to survive, literally trying to survive with the day job, right? But then as you jump into, you're jumping off a freaking ledge when you commit to being a full-time musician, is my assumption. And now it's real purposeful, and you're out there. When you're making that phone call to get the gig, you want the gig. You want to nail it, and you want to keep springboarding off what you want. But then I think there comes a time, and I have people in mind that I've interviewed where they're just hammering away. They've got something good, but they never made the break, and that's where I think social media is kind of an interesting way to expose to millions of people, literally. But they get that point at the crossroads where they say, I can continue doing the nightlife, or I got to do the family life. I can't do both. Right. And I think that's a struggle. I hope that doesn't happen to you guys, because I think there's great things for you to come. But that's got to loom over your head, I would think. And look, Andrew stopped laughing all of a sudden.
Look, I mean, we have a love for making songs, and I've always felt that if you make a timeless song, people are going to want to listen to it, and
Right.
they're going to want to hear it, and it will spread on its own. And so I've just always been an advocate is if you like writing songs, just write the best song you possibly can, and people will want to hear it if it's, you know, a timeless classic.
Well, let me throw this question out to all of you is, and this is my perception on, you know, you guys making the ice cream cones and putting stuff out and putting the social media out and putting songs out. Maybe it's in my mind that you're doing one every 2 weeks and it's not the case. Do you set a goal for yourself? It's a weird question. Do you set a goal for yourself saying, hey, I want to write 10 songs in the next 60 days, or man, it's been a while. Do you feel that kind of pressure? Is this something that's coming out of left field from me, or do you have a goal? Do you picture yourself going down the slope as far as where you want the future to be? You know what? I want to do 2 more albums. I want to do X number of gigs. Do you set those kind of goals for yourself?
Well, I know for me and Matt, we'd love to do an album. We just want to get, you know, just with social media and YouTube and everything, we want constant content. So we just want to keep putting out singles. The pressure we put on ourselves is try to get a song out a month. You know,
Okay.
Sometimes we'll have a couple month lull where we have to reset, but we've been doing 10, 12 songs a year for the past couple, I think 3 or 4 years. So 3 years.
Last year we did 8.
Yeah, some years we did 8. There was a year we did 14. So it evens out to about 12. But we're trying to put the pressure on ourselves just to put a song a month out.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you don't hit it. Sometimes it'll be a month and a half or whatever. But yeah, and then we're constantly. I said to this to Matt the other day because someone was bringing up Fortnite to us. I only played Fortnite once, but in Fortnite they don't have this anymore. But when
it's like
I
a
remember
feature
that they might have removed, but you could build. And you could build the staircase while you're walking. And I said to Matt, that's kind of feels like what we're doing. It feels like, or we're like throwing pavement down in front of the car as we're going. As we're putting out the next song, where, or working with Sam on a song and producing that, we're constantly trying to write the song that we're going to be working on in a couple months. There's constantly all these songs in different stages of done.
Okay.
And we're constantly saying, we have to write something else because something else is going to be coming up in a couple months. So that's how we put the pressure on ourselves, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I've heard this from, Sam, I'm going to throw this to you. I've heard this from other songwriters that a lot of times when they're in the car or they're on a tour bus, when they're in that isolation, it's a very pristine or fertile ground for writing songs. Sam, forget the Como brothers for a second. Just push them away. And you can tell me, what is your, hey, this is where I'd like to be, and this is the most, where I'm most inspired to write a song. Does that make sense, that question?
I would say, I don't know, it's always in some kind of small space. So, like, when I did the Idol tour several years ago, I actually wrote the majority of the EP I put out right after I was on the show, on the bus. And then, I don't know, as long as I'm just, like, in a spot by myself where there's kind of quiet.
Right.
I thought you said you like to do it naked.
Yeah. Yeah, like, what's his
Set those
name
kind
said
of
that?
goals for yourself?
Shower or something?
Yeah, John Mayer said that.
Yeah.
Easy, guys. We got to keep it clean. There's going to be youngsters listening to this. Although the whole Wolf pack is going like this.
Yeah.
Naked songwriting.
I would just say a secluded space that's quiet.
But now you're in New York City, right?
I'm surprisingly in a very quiet space here
Neighborhood?
in my 1-bedroom studio apartment.
Cool. And then once you get out in the street, it's 10,000 stories of exposure and activity. Was that an adjustment for you to move from Florida and be in a major city? As far as, maybe it's too early to ask you this, but
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like I adapted pretty quick.
Yep.
And
I tell you,
I love it now.
I've always I used to give tours of, when I worked for a particular factory, I was the guy that would take the out-of-towners into New York City. And I always loved it because I always looked at New York as 10,000 different neighborhoods. You can go one street to the next street, and it's a total different character to it. And that's not only in Manhattan, but Brooklyn and stuff like that. And there's a lot of great places to play in Brooklyn as well. So anyway, yeah, I was just curious how you approach it. Let's talk about the next song. We're going to do a Como song now, right? Because we did a Wolf song. So, Matt, what do you want to do next?
I would say
let's
let's
do the new
do
single.
our new one. Yeah, I was going to say that. Someone Who Loves Me.
All right, do you want to tell a little story behind that before we let the audience hear it?
I mean, there's not much of a story. It's just, it's just wanting to find someone, That's basically it.
And you wrote that, Andrew, right?
Yep.
Who wrote the lyrics?
This was
I know,
all
it was
Andrew, this one. So.
Yeah, I know it was the lonely guy. It was
The lonely guy. But yeah, no, it's we're super proud of it, how it came out, and we hope your listeners like it.
All right. Someone Who Loves Me. Check it out, everyone. We'll be right back after the song.
We're not here forever. It goes by like a song. You open up your eyes and another year is gone. I'm tired of the small talk. I want it to be long. I want to find someone who loves me. Oh yeah. Losing time in the pouring rain under the light. I try to find you, but it's dark as night. They tell me wait until the timing's right. But we're not here forever. It goes by like a song. You open up your eyes and a few more years are gone. I'm tired of the small talk. I want it to be long. I want to find someone who loves me. Oh yeah. Losing faith in the desert, I had seen the lake. But as I drank the sand, I found it fake. I wish I knew a way to you. 'Cause we're not here forever. It goes by like a song. You open up your eyes and then 5 more years are gone. I'm tired of the small talk. I want it to be long. I want to find someone who loves me. Oh, someone who loves me. Oh yeah. All our nights apart, we were looking at the moon. We were holding hope that we'd find each other soon. Every step I took has led me here to you. I hope it happens soon. 'Cause we're not here forever. It goes by like a song. You open up your eyes and 10 more years are gone. I'm tired of the small talk. I want it to be long. I want to find someone who loves me. 'Cause we're not here forever. It goes by like a song. You open up your eyes and then all your youth is gone. I want to wrap my arms around you, right where you belong. I want to find someone who loves me. Oh, someone who loves me. Someone who loves me. I want to find someone who loves me. 'Cause we're not here forever. It goes by like a song. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, everybody. We're back with the Como brothers, Matt and Andrew, and along with Sam Woolf from American Idol. Oof, I was so excited when I first had you come on the program. I do
Now
that.
you're like, he's boring.
Nah, he's just a regular guy. I got to ask you this. So you fall into a certain pattern of likable, I would call it a little bit on the pop side. Would you say that, music?
Sure.
Yet he pulls it off. Is there anybody can answer this question. Is there any urge to say, you know what, I really want to explore my blues roots, or I want to explore more of a different style and are you covering that, and do you have that in mind when you write a song? How's that for a question?
For me,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Sam.
go ahead.
No, go
No,
ahead.
Sam, go.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, for me, at least the last couple, maybe 2 or 3 songs I've written and put out, I was definitely inspired a lot by country. So I was trying to pop country, I should say. I was definitely like leaning in that
country is
direction
pop
when
now,
writing it.
anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
So you moved into that. How about you, Andrew?
No, I was just gonna say, we're not afraid to, experiment on something. I think 2020 especially, we were maybe we did a little bit of a bluesy song, but I think recently we're kind of, every time we do it, we're like, can we write a song that's authentic to us and real and something that we can actually sing? But can we make it in a way that, how many people can we bring in with this song?
Okay.
So the aim for at least the past 2 years, I mean, that always has been kind of the aim, but even more focused now. Like every time we said, how big can we make the net to catch as many fish as we can? And that's always the goal. But we kind of, if we have a certain influence or a certain genre we're specifically liking, we might try to infuse that net with that a little bit.
Right. My assumption would be that you reach that point in your career where you can do no wrong type of thing. You know what I mean? Not worried about the money coming in. You're in demand. Okay. You'll finally, I really think you'll get to that point where it's like, yeah, I'm comfortable enough that my audience isn't going to freak out. Where I would think now, in the momentum of going up the hill, excuse the analogy, is that you're staying true to your brand and what you're known for. But I guess my thought process is, and this is from a guy who knows nothing about the music industry, you don't want that to get stale either. You don't want it to be, wow, that sounds like their last 10 songs.
Right.
Or maybe you do. I don't know.
I think the only common denominator is you got to just, and something we're I think all of us are guilty of the occasional song that's not authentic. But I think, the stuff that we put out, you got to put stuff out that's authentic. I think that's the common denominator between all the songs in terms of, you got to mean it. It has to mean it, and I think so, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think when you're vulnerable and you have a certain transparency to who you are and you put that in your song, that's what I see as a common denominator with very successful artists, that the audience can say, they feel me, in their song, and vice versa. It's interesting. But then let me ask you this. I may have asked you this in the past, but do you start out as a younger singer-songwriter than you are now as a I position? This is about, the Taylor Swift stuff, it's I, not diminishing how great she is at it. But then do you start rolling into becoming more of a storyteller? Maybe you're doing that when you look at a painting. And then do you go into creating characters that are so different than yourself in the song? How's that for a question? Boy, I'm on my game today.
That's great, and I think you're going into Matt's school of thought. He likes to,
Okay.
You could take it, Matt. I mean, you could.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. I was just...
We're gonna have them fight. This is great. I've been waiting for this moment.
Let's hear
it. He's like, well, what did you mean by that? I don't know. Actually, what was even the question?
No, I want to know what you're thinking.
No, I think that Matt. Well, I don't even know if it's true, so maybe it's. I don't know.
He's back. He's back. That's called back.
No, I'm not even backtracking. What was? I'm so guilty.
All right.
You said, "What was my school of thought?"
Yeah, you said.
No, but what was the question, Steve? Go ahead, and then I'll get it.
The question was, do you move from a position as a songwriter, as a younger songwriter, from the I position, to the outward position in creating characters and working stories that are totally not you, but true to your feelings? And then you said, how am I funny? How am I funny to you? Like a clown, Matt? That's what it felt like, right, Sam? Look, Sam's recoiling now. He's like, oh God, here we go.
I don't know. No, I'm gonna rescind. I have no idea what I was gonna say.
No, I mean, basically, for me, I'm always just trying to write the song that comes to me in the moment. I'm not thinking of a genre. I'm just trying to think of how can I write the best song that I can. I think if you look at the songs we've put out, even even in the last year or so, songs Sam has put out, I mean, I feel that way about all of us, that we're just trying to write the best song that we can, and it doesn't matter if it's in a genre that we are wanting to be in or not. It's really just like, hey, this is me in that moment, and can I make the best thing possible,
Yep. Like, I think there are songwriters that sit down and get intrigued by a book they read and do research and say, I'm going to write a song about whatever. And they get purposeful about it, where it seems as though what I'm hearing from you guys is, the muse strikes me and I want to develop that muse to write the best song that I can, as opposed to the opposite. I'm trying to understand the songwriting process of those that I've spoken to, say, you know what, I got so intrigued by the Native American and this particular plight of this person. I researched it. I learned a hell of a lot, and I'm writing in their persona. I'm not trying to have you guys undo who you are, but it's just interesting to me as far as how that gets, just different ways of writing songs.
Yeah, actually, one of the songs that we were thinking of sharing with you today is called "Rolling Down the Road," and it's kind of actually just me like getting into character of what this guy had a really bad day.
Oh, and, I remember that song.
Yeah, and he's just having a bad day, and he's going through all the terrible things that happened to him during the day, and he just keeps rolling on down the road. So
that was a good example of that.
Yeah, so we could get into character and stuff, but ultimately it's like, all right, what are we feeling is the most cool thing that we can do right now that's going to be, I don't know, fun to play, and then fun for the audience to get involved with too, just something we would have liked to listen to if we,
But also, I'm gonna cut Matt off. Just even when we do that, even when you make a character and we're still singing about something that you're singing about something that you feel. You know what I mean? Like Rolling Down the Road is about this guy that gets run off the road and breaks his leg and a dog bites him. But it's still about you, where you feel like even with the music thing, you're trying to go forward and you feel like you're on the edge of something, but you're never grabbing it. You know what I mean? Like, and you keep getting knocked down, but you keep rolling down the road. You didn't get your car run off the road, but it's still you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but Andrew did get bit.
I did get bit by a dog. Yeah.
Hey, let me turn the coin on you though. Have you written a song, or you come out with a song, and you're in your circle of loved ones, and they go, "You wrote that about me," did you write? Did that influence that time I was reaming you out? I mean, does that ever happen to you where somebody projects themselves into your music? And I'm not.
100% all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My dad, my girlfriend.
Yeah, and then you got to break the news. No, it's about girlfriend.
It's about Melanie.
Is that an inside joke?
No, wait a minute. We're not
It's a
gonna let this
random
go.
name.
Okay. So now, any of your fans named Melanie are going to be like, "I knew it." By the way.
Yeah, well, that's the goal. I mean, we're playing as many gigs as we can, armed with the best songs that we can write, and just trying to organically grow the following and make connections with people, and then hopefully they'll come along for the ride with us, with Sam, with all of us to.
And then sometimes we're lucky enough to run into someone like you, Steve, and you try.
Oh, here we go.
No, you try to amplify it outside of the gig, like we're doing now, which is great.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you touched on one of these things where you were telling me that you get some coinage for doing 30-second reels.
Right.
So we're all trying to be influencers. He's got his doll with him. Okay, great. Baby Yoda? That's Baby Yoda, right? Right, excellent. All right, I should have brought props, but all I got is my Guinness. Hang on. Getting that attention out there. What I find interesting about social media, you see all the, I don't know if you've seen this bass player, Ellen or something. She's like a 10-year-old prodigy. Unbelievable.
I thought you were talking about Degenerate.
My point being is you see these reels where, they're playing the drums, they're doing these crazy licks and stuff like that, and it's over, and they're getting a lot of play, but my question is, where's the depth in it? So I think the figuring out the formula to get, hey, this is the shiny lure to come see Sam Woolf or the Como brothers, and now taking it a step further to further expose your music. That's where I think YouTube and deeper, seeing more of your music and pointing them to Spotify, which is what we're doing here, is key.
Oh, 100%.
I think there is a whole a business out there of people trying to teach you how to be great social media places, and you're buying their courses. They're like the late night real estate courses, make millions in real estate. Yeah, I know you made millions, but you're really making millions over teaching people how to make millions on real estate.
Hey, I fell for that. I just don't even why. It's like 80% of me hates it, and 20% of me knows I have to do it. So I try my best to, be active, do my thing. But it's so even right now, it's just it's so fake and so fucking ridiculous that I just do.
What? Oh, you mean doing the social media?
Just social media in general, yeah. Just having to
What are you saying? This interview.
Yeah. Well,
excuse me. Right now.
It was really nice having you guys.
He goes crazy. He goes, I can't take it.
No, I know what he's saying, though. I know what he's saying. It's
No, I
sometimes
didn't mean to lose my mind, but you know what I mean? It's like...
No, this is good. This is going in the teaser reel.
It's like I know I have to do it, and there's a way to do it authentically, but at the same time, there's just so much that I see or, that's
it's
there
bullshit.
that makes
It's
me
bullshit.
not want to do it.
Yeah, it looks like bullshit. You know what? I heard this guy on Sunday was telling, he goes, this whole social media, it builds up envy of, you're seeing everybody at their pristine best with the best cocktail. When you reach my age, you start taking pictures of food. I think it's freaking crazy. It never looks as good on social media as when you're eating it. Okay, it's like pictures of sex of yourself. You think you look great, you don't look great. Don't ever photograph yourself having sex. Okay, whether you're alone or with a person, that's my advice to you. Okay,
alone.
It'll build the brand for a minute, and that'll be it. But no, but it's. I agree with you 100%, Sam. It can put up that false notion of everything's great all the time and blah blah blah. That's part of selling, that's the Dolly Parton, I'm not trashy, but I don't mind getting dressed up trashy, There's a whole aspect to it. How do you be true to yourself, yet you're on, type of crap to put it out. So I feel for you on that, Or you take a mustache and throw it on a guy and tell him to be the waiter in the video, and that works for you.
Look, I mean, some things that, we have a good time doing. I find it's sometimes hard to find an authentic voice on social media, and just having that authentic voice come through on your presence online is like its own talent and its own thing, because just cultivating that, speaking to a camera and being able to do that, I don't feel like I do that well, and that's something I have to work on. But I'd rather just be playing my bass and writing my song, whatever, and sometimes, you feel that 80-20 thing that Sam was talking about, where it's like, I know I gotta be doing it,
But it's not. It's like going to the dentist for you,
I actually like the dentist way better than that.
How do you like being on podcasts?
What's that?
Oh, we love being on your podcast. Yeah, this is.
No, I love the podcast. Yeah, but it's like, because this we can just be ourselves naturally. You don't have to really.
Well, you know what's interesting too. I was watching this video on one of the fastest growing podcasts. It's a dad who shows you how to do dad stuff around the house, how to tie a tie, how to fix a sink, and they're not the best videos, but there's a need for them, and millions of views because he found a niche that people, wow, I really like that, and that's what I think it is. It's finding that audience, and you know what, letting your guard down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think even more than the music, well, like the second thing that we might be known for online is a series that Andrew did called "What the Hell Is Going On Here," and people come up to
Seriously?
Andrew and they come up to him and they're like, "Are you doing a What the Hell Is Going On Here right now?"
I got to do more of them. I haven't done it in a little while, but
And you know what? That could be another lore that leads you in. I agree.
Yeah, it's like an authentic voice that Andrew developed through this little series, where it's like, oh, okay, this is like a cool little thing that catches on with people for whatever reason. You know, people just seem to like it. So there's things like that definitely work.
I have a marketing friend I used to work with who was doing average guy testing cars out and stuff like that. And he goes, you know what took off? When I started, this is no bullshit, when he's talking about shaving and hair care products for your face. And he goes, I don't know why, but that whole genre of him using different razors, different lotions and stuff like that just took off. And he goes, I would never have thought there was an audience for that. So maybe that's an answer, as far as, Sam, if you got to do these things and you're like, oh, this sucks, but if there's a way you could be Sam and talk about your experiences, particularly, it's almost like writing a video or social media diary as you go, and letting your hand down and say, you know what, by the way, I know this looks like a glamorous life when I'm stage, but I can tell you the great doubt I have every day when I wake up to do this, and I'm projecting on you, or, I don't know.
To find something that works, I don't know.
I think you got to do what what you enjoy doing, because I think people could sniff out.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're being inauthentic.
If you're phoning it in, so to speak.
Phoning it in, and even like your example, Steve. I think that would work if someone wanted to do that. If someone felt like they were forcing themselves to be I need to be vulnerable. I think something that's actually lacking. I think something that's actually lacking today is mystique in an artist. I forget who was saying this recently, but. There's not as much Michael Jackson or Prince. What is he doing? What is that guy? And I think that if your thing is like Matt doesn't like talking to the camera, I think that could work. I think it all boils down to the song, really. But but I could be wrong. I have no, what the hell do I?
Well, that's I agree with you. I think also drawing people into your live performance is, I can't catch that in a video anywhere, but the live performance to me, and maybe because my eyes are there right now, I'm looking for different things. One, I'm looking for how bandmates communicate with each other, because I'm envious of how they do that, how they communicate. Sometimes it's dramatic and he's like, you're taking it, whatever. But I tell you, even this past Sunday, Mike Nugent, Mike wouldn't mind me saying this, Mike has been a side guy for decades. And he's watched frontmen be frontmen, okay? So he knows how to do it. And I said, Mike, now you're the frontman. He goes, yeah, I know how to do this. I just haven't done it. And he was the frontman, and he brought other artists with him that were we had a guy who played mandolin, fiddle, and electric guitar, and he did the Grateful Dead stuff. And this guy was great. And Diane Lotney I spoke about earlier, and then Ed Travis get up, and he's like a Jimmy Buffett guy. He does Jimmy Buffett all over the place, and he's a very gregarious guy, and he knows how to engage the audience and make everybody feel like you're in his living room. There's an art to that. So I'll keep on pounding the gospel of, you got to see these guys live. You can't just do this.
Right.
And scroll up and see 15 seconds and say, yeah, I got Sam Woolf. I know what he does. No, you don't, because you've never seen him live. Or you guys too. And I know I'm kind of preaching to the audience here, and also these are how the artists make their money today, because you're not making it on streaming unless it's a miracle from God that all of a sudden something takes off and somebody decides, Toby Keith's going to use your song, and you go, hey, thanks, and you're in the money, so.
Right.
And the other thing is selling merch, which is really kind of weird, but you do what you got to do, right? Sam, I want to get to one of the songs you brought to the table called Worst Thing. Can you tell us a little bit about it, and we'll let are you with me? Come on, you got the frown face on.
I'm here.
Okay, he's pissed. All right. If it's okay with you, Sam, can you tell us a little bit about the song? If you don't want to, I'll get one of the other guys to tell us about this song. And then we'll let the audience hear it. Go ahead.
No, worst thing I wrote. The song honestly just came out. It was one of those, it hasn't happened since. 2 years later. where the whole thing kind of just happened. You know, like I was just
poured out.
Poured out. I had the guitar. I was just strumming along to a chord progression, and the lyrics were just coming out. And it's funny because I've been in a relationship since then, and the hardest part was explaining to my girlfriend that it wasn't about her.
Gotcha.
Because it's, the line is losing you is the worst thing I ever did. And she's like, oh, are you talking about a past relationship? And I'm like, no, it's not that. But
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk. So, yeah, I don't know. It honestly just came out. Just a feeling. I was feeling down, like I said. And,
Cool.
I was just...
So sometimes those are the most...
therapy for me. So, it's one of those... had to get it out, whatever it was.
All right, so let's listen to Worst Thing. We'll be right back after the song, everybody. Check it
out. The song is called Worst Thing. Check it out on Spotify, iTunes. Sam Woolf Music. 2 O's, WOOLF. Got a few songs out. I hope you like this one. Time thinking about you and how I ended up passed out on my couch for the third night in a row. Yeah, it's my fault, I regret it. I guess I should have called before I showed up at the doorstep. 'Cause you ain't even know. I knew that love could drive me mad, but never thought I'd hurt this bad would happen. Swear I thought we had this. Every day since you've been gone, I lie awake from dusk till dawn. I think a little bit of booze might help the pain and pass some time. Every road that I've been down, they all lead back to you somehow. But every day goes by, and I still can't help but wonder if it's just in my head. Was losing you the worst thing I ever did? Now I lay low like a train track, 'cause I know I would die if I saw you out with a new man. Though you're better off, I can't let go. I mean that if I can't have you, then nobody else can. I'm selfish, I know. Well, I heard the news that you found love with someone new. Every day since you've been gone, I lie awake from dusk till dawn. I think a little bit of booze might help the pain and pass some time. Every road that I've been down, they all lead back to you somehow. But every day goes by, and I still can't help but wonder if it's just in my head. Or was losing you the worst thing? All the nights I held you close, to think that now I'm on my own. I wish I could, but I can't let you go. Every day since you've been gone, I wake from dusk till dawn. I think a little bit of booze might help the pain and pass some time. Every road that I've been down, I lose my way, turn around. 'Cause every day goes by, and I still can't help but wonder if it's just in my head. Or was losing you the worst thing I ever did? I ever did. Oh, was losing you was the worst thing I ever did. I ever did. I ever did. Was losing you was the worst thing I ever did. Thank you.
I know, Hey,
I will say, I want to say it on air that I love that song, Worst Thing, and I think it's a awesome job, awesome song.
No, thanks, bro.
nice. Thanks for bringing that to the table. So tell me, Sam, what do you got coming up in the near future as far as gigs, and you going on the road, or what's happening?
I've been doing a couple shows here and there in the city. Like I said, I do private corporate events on the side, so those are kind of like, my bread and butter,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. Yeah, man. I mean, for me, I enjoy the the Sam Wolf shows, the ticketed or whatever, where I'm playing my own music. Like last, or 2 Sundays ago, like what we did with the Como Brothers at Rockwood.
You ever
We're
think
trying
of
to
doing?
arrange another one of those together.
You ever think of doing the Bitter End?
We did in the past. What was it? Probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, you should
we've
do.
done there.
I think Richie Canada does an open mic on Monday nights.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
cool.
Yeah.
He'd be a good guy to connect to. He's
Yeah.
pretty sharp guy.
Yeah, Bitter End. Arlene's Grocery I actually reached out to recently, but they
So what do we have coming up, fellas? See, like the glass thing I did?
We have Fire Island Vines coming up on April 8th.
Okay.
What is that, a Saturday? And then we have April 16th, we're playing the Long Island Hall of Fame in Stony Brook.
Oh yeah, Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's a Sunday. And then we have a couple songs coming out. Love Will Come Around is coming out on April 2nd. And
Okay.
then we have Take Another Piece of My Heart on April 30th. So keep a lookout for that.
Nice.
All right, so which-
as I'm like writing songs, I was thinking about this, and Andrew was saying how, hey, we have like a certain quota, we're trying to like pressure ourselves to get songs and stuff, but at the same time, I'm also like of the mindset of a lot in the last like year. I'm like, I'm not gonna write unless I really feel like I'm gonna be grabbing that guitar and picking it up and making a song, like called to it.
Okay.
And if I'm like strumming along, making these random ideas, and it's not coming out, I'm just gonna put it down, Whereas when I was younger, I was just powering through making the song from front to end, no matter what.
Right.
And there's a place for that also. But just recently, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till it comes, and when it comes, it's been a lot better. I think Andrew could attest.
Well, I was going to say, I think we're just better at knowing when something is not going anywhere and throwing it out.
Right.
So I think there's just less time wasted on finishing songs that are crap. I think we just, we end up axing them before it gets to that point.
It's part of the editing process, I would assume. You can throw a lot on the plate, but the editing is the key to make it come together. And I look the same way with podcasts. I found myself, I'm going to do it weekly. Am I going to get a guest? I was very fortunate to get guests, and now I'm backed up where I have several in the can, so to speak.
Nice.
So it takes that pressure off, but then it's also, I want to do a quality show. I really want to do, and now I'm fine. You put different demands upon yourself. I recently had a guest.
So that's one thing I wanted to throw out there. And then the other thing was just like, with the three of us, I feel like Sam's like our brother. We've known him for so long, and I really feel that way, Sam, where it's like your family, and we just get along so well that the songs keep flowing, and we work really well together, but we also have good hangs and stuff. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of good stuff coming from us as well.
Absolutely. You know what? I could tell that just being, and it's back to seeing you guys live in your presence. I bust balls a lot, and I try to get people to say terrible things. And Matt, you didn't grab the bait. So on the conversation that we had, so that's a nice skill, and continue with that, guys. And I said this early on. I feel like I'm meeting Paul McCartney when he was in the cave with the cavemen. They're early.
Thanks,
The first thing. No, seriously, because you've got something that's going, and the fact that you can polish anything up on a video and in a studio. When I see somebody live and they got it, that's the hook to say, there's talent there, and they're working the crowd and doing it, it's you're not born with that. It's something that you develop. So I know all three of you put a lot of hard work into it. So
Thanks.
I'm going to look in my orb now, and I see nothing but bright skies ahead, and a staircase that's going to be built before you. So
There you go.
with that, until next time, everybody, thanks for joining us. Please look up the Como brothers, C-O-M-O, and Sam Woolf, and I think you'll be surprised. Take care, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate the time you spent with us. Please subscribe and comment and visit us at gigdestiny.com. Till next time, be generous with your joy, keep your spirits high, and let the music take you on a journey. Be well. Peace.